gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, people from around the world, friends, foes, winners, non-procrastinators, and people who are on their way to the top. Please give a warm welcome. Please give it up for, once again, my man, Kalpesh Patel.
Thank you. Cheers, buddy.
Woo!
Okay. So listen, first of all, I just want to acknowledge the previous speaker who really, in all of my years of being in several companies and really being passionate about personal development, Matt just got up here on stage and shared something, and I'll tell you what, every string in the cello of my heart got touched. Every single. So I'm moved, I'm touched, I'm honoured, I'm inspired, I'm excited. Are we excited? Yeah. So I want to share, first of all, my story, because I think, when anyone shares a story, it's real, it's not something that I've made up, right? Is that fair enough? And, my story, basically, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Not. Now, I grew up and I had it really, really easy. Not. It's not how it went, right? I had the challenges. But I tell you, through life, every single human being has challenges. Would you agree? Is there anyone here that didn't have any challenges growing up? There you go. Okay, so that's part of life. But one thing that I've been blessed to have is the most phenomenal parents anyone on the planet could ever have wished for. Because my parents brought me and my brother up to have the right attitude. And they didn't have access to the books and the tapes and the speakers. They didn't get exposed to any of that world. But it was something that they just had inside here for whatever reason. And they brought both me and my brother up in an environment where no matter what challenges, whatever they were going through, guess what? If I asked for a bike, at that time when they bought the bike, I had no idea what they had to do to get that bike. Who can relate to what I'm talking about? Yeah? And it's only when I grow up and I hear the stories, when they say, listen, when you did this and we were going through that, when you did this, we were going through that. And when they tell the stories, the price they paid. The price they paid to make sure that, as far as I'm concerned, I did, I was born and I grew up in a house with a silver spoon. Because that was my experience. Does everyone get what I'm saying? My dad left East Africa. That's where he was born and raised, and he left that country with my mum in 1970. I was a year old when they landed in England, and my dad had zero money. In fact, he landed with debts. He owed money because he had to borrow the money to fly out of East Africa to go to England all those years ago. So he landed in a country he hardly spoke English. Neither did my mum. Spoke zero English. My dad had some English, but it wasn't fluent, but it was enough to get by. They landed in a country where he would go to get jobs, and they'd have signs in the window: no Irish or blacks. And if you're Indian, you're black, right? In a country where there was no distinction, Asian, that was all the same, right? So no Irish, no blacks. They were the signs in the window before you even applied for the job. So what does he do? He starts studying on a part-time basis, and he gets himself a diploma in lathing, and he starts working in a factory. My mum works in a factory making glasses. They went through such hard times. They're both working in factories, and at some point they couldn't even pay the rent, to the extent that my mum had to start, making. In the old days, they used to have these cloth bags for the banks to put all their change in. My mum used to have a machine at home, and she used to sew bags in the evenings and the weekends, and they used to give her pennies for each bag. She actually messed her eyesight up as a result of doing that. But that's the price they paid to make sure that they gave us a good start in life. Does that make sense? So, for me, I'm like, the mindset that we talk about in the world of personal development, attitude. Attitude is everything. When people complain, I sit there and think, you've got no idea, and you've got no reason to complain. So what I'm saying to everyone in the room is that, the journey ahead, I don't know whether you're going to have it easy. I don't know if you're going to have it tough. I don't know if you're going to even have it tougher than tough. If you've got the vision in place, then all you've got to do is trust in yourself and just believe that you have everything within you and the capacity and ability to learn whatever you need to learn along the way to make that happen in life. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah? You just got to trust. Sometimes in life, it doesn't feel like you're going to pull through, but guess what? You always, I can promise you this, if your attitude's right, you'll always land on your feet. Even though you don't sometimes appreciate that you've landed on your feet, in hindsight, you realize you landed on your feet. And if you can start seeing that in foresight instead of hindsight, and just trust that no matter how tough it is, you've landed on your feet. That's how I see it. Whatever life throws at me, thank you very much, where's the next one? And that's the attitude, right? And that way you're always prepared. You're never thrown off. You're always prepared because you know where you're going. So this is something that I advise everyone to do. Read the books. Listen to the material. Train yourself and learn the answers. Is that fair enough? Because I tell you what, people spend hours and hours and hours in their evenings and weekends learning how to do their job better. Don't they? People go to work and the boss says, hey, listen, I've got some overtime. And people grab it with both hands. For an extra $5, $10 an hour? Hello? That's not where it's at, right? So spend the extra hours in the evenings and weekends learning how you can become the master of your destiny. Is that fair enough? What is it that the people that you aspire to be like, the people that you learn from, what is it they do differently to the masses? See, something Zig Ziglar said really inspired me many years ago, and I live by that. If you can help as many other people to get what they want out of life, then you're going to get what you want by accident. You're going to get everything that you can dream of as a default just by helping others get what they want. What I'm saying is when you tell the truth and you tell it from the heart, you can never offend your friends. Does that make sense? And you know, I can be pretty offensive with my friends, but I never offend them. Why? Because I'm speaking from the heart. I'll tell people as it is. If I see something that's stopping them from being the person they can be, I'll be the one friend. When my friends call me up, oh, Kalpesh, I'm having a tough time in my relationship, and and this isn't working, and my finances are messed up, and I'm so busy, whatever rubbish they're going on about. I'll hear them out for a few seconds, and at some point I'll say, listen, I appreciate that you called me in your hour of need, but I'm not going to sit here and listen to your rubbish. I'm not going to sit here and pat you on the back and say, poor you. Because guess what? If I sit there and say, poor you, that gives life to your circumstances. That gives it existence. That gives it legs. I'll be the one say, hey, listen, I'm ready to offend you. Are you ready not to be offended? And they're like, what? I'll say, listen, if you want to do something about that, if you want to do something to move your relationship forward, then call me. Otherwise, get off the phone and stop wasting my time. If you want to do something about improving your finances, then talk to me. Otherwise, get off the phone and stop wasting our time. Speak to somebody else that will buy into your stories. But I'm here to change your life, not keep it the same.